Hello and welcome to this tutorial on the Caring Vision website. My name's David Knight. I'm the author of the website, and I'm going to show you how to perform a calibration of the webcam and screen. The Caring Vision application requires calibration before any assessments can be performed. The reason for this is because the application does not know anything about the webcam or the screen that you're going to use, and it has to have this information in order to make accurate measurements of vision. So the first thing we're going to do on this website is I'm going to remove all the calibration data on the system at the moment. So now that's all been removed, and we're going to start a vision screening session. The first thing it's going to do is detect that I don't have any information on the system, and therefore we're going to need to access this. So currently the camera is blocked. When you go on the website, it will ask you if you can allow the camera to be used. So I'm going to select yes, and the moment it does that, it will find the camera information. And this particular computer only has one camera. If there were more than one camera, you'd see a list of them on the left hand side of the screen. So I'm going to click the camera, at which point the image from the camera will appear, and then you can confirm if that's the camera you want to use or not. In this case, this is absolutely the camera I want to use. Whilst I'm on screen, I'm going to show the other equipment you're going to need. You're going to require a credit card size object. This is just a little card, NHS card, so you're going to need something this size. And you're also going to need some kind of measuring device. I've got a tape measure. This tape measure comes with two scales. It comes with an inch scale there, which is the larger of the two scales, and it's got IN written on it, and a centimetre scale with CM written on it. That's the smaller of the two scales. Each of the individual markers on the centimetre scale is 1 millimetre, which we're going to use later on when we're going to measure the size of the chessboard squares. So that's the tape measure that you're going to need, or you can use a standard ruler, whatever you've got to hand. The other thing you're going to need is a chessboard. I've selected this particular chessboard. As you can see, this chessboard is made of wood, solid wood, and it's a bit shiny, but it's pretty much ideal for our purposes. You can get other chessboards which are made of cardboard. These are not ideal. What you really want, if you can get hold of one, is a nice solid chessboard like this, and that's because it needs to be completely flat for the purposes of the calibration. So we're going to start. We've selected the webcam, and now we're going to calibrate it. And again, the webcam setup just explains a bit more about the kind of chessboards that you're going to need for this calibration. Again, basically you're looking for something nice and sturdy with nice clearly defined squares. It doesn't matter if it's a bit beaten up, as long as the square edges are clearly defined, because that's what's going to be needed for the calibration. And then it's going to ask you to measure the size of one of the squares, and that's where the tape measure comes in, of course. So you're going to grab the chessboard and measure. It doesn't matter which square you're measuring, of course. You can use centimeters or inches. I prefer centimeters, so I'm going to measure that. And this particular chessboard has 29.5 millimeters squares. So I'm going to tap that in here, 29.5. Okay, and then you can begin the calibration. At which point, of course, you can now see I've reappeared on the screen. It's a bit jerky now, and the reason it's a bit jerky is because it's trying to find a chessboard. So every single frame is being analysed, and of course, as soon as you show it a chessboard, it will start to look at it. Now, as you can see, the chessboard is a bit shiny. The algorithm does not like shiny chessboards, so you've got to then turn it away. Oh, and there you go. It starts to detect the image as soon as the shiny part is no longer exposed. And there we go. Off we go. So it's now detecting. As I'm detecting it, I'm moving it around the screen, and that's because the more you move it around, the better the calibration result is going to be. The calibration result is assessed for accuracy. If it's not very accurate, it will tell you that, and it will ask you to repeat the assessment. So off we go. As you can see, there are marks on the chessboard. Doesn't matter as long as the edges are in place. And there we go. It's all done now. We've got 30 images of that chessboard stored on the system, and it's clearly been very happy with that because it's calibrated it beautifully. Now we're moving on to the screen calibration section. So the webcam is now calibrated, but the screen is not, and we need to know all about the screen measurements. So for this bit, we're going to do three smaller assessments. We're going to do a gamma adjustment, and that's using this grey section here. You may, if you've got very good eyesight, you'll notice that the bottom section, which looks lighter at the moment, also is made up of light and dark bars. And the idea is that you need to match the colour of the top and the bottom sections of this grey square. So you're going to use the slider for that. And now bear in mind that your screen may not look the same as mine because every screen is unique, but I'm going to match it up so it looks more or less the same, and I would say that's about there. So now the top part and the bottom part look to be of equal colour when I'm sitting back from the screen. When I get closer I can see the bars more clearly, but that doesn't matter. You're trying to get them so that the idea is that if you can't see the bars individually, it will look the same as the background later on. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure the diagonal screen size. The screen size is the area of the edge of the screen, the coloured part of the screen, and we're not including the border or the bezel of the screen here. We just need to know the actual pixel diagonal to diagonal measurement. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take my tape measure once more. In this case, again, I can choose centimeters here, so I'm going to do that. But again, if you measure in inches, it's not a problem. It will just convert it over for you. So here, what have we got? Let's have a look, and we've got a measurement of, well, looks to be exactly 36 centimeters. So I'm going to put that in, 36 centimeters. Click the metric tag. If I don't do that, it will remind me that I haven't selected which unit of measurement I'm using. Again, if you were to do inches, it would just simply convert between the two. As long as the size that you're measuring is the same as the unit, then you'll be absolutely fine. The next thing I'm going to do is it's going to ask me to resize this credit card icon image here to the same size as the physical credit card image, credit card that I've got in my hand. Bear in mind, you've got these brown bars around the side. As you can see, the mouse icon changes, and you can use this to change the shape of the credit card up and down, left or right, or if you want to, you can use this little icon. You can drag it, and as you can see, you can then change it to your heart's desire. Alternatively, using a touchscreen, you may prefer to use these arrows instead. So again, you can just click on the arrows, and it will just reshape them that way as well. And vice versa there. So the important thing to bear in mind is that the credit card size, the physical dimension, should match this green credit card and not the brown area around it. That's simply there to help you to manipulate the credit card size. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get the credit card. I've got it resting against the screen now, and I'm simply going to adjust the size of the credit card until it matches the physical dimensions, which is about there. And again, down here, exactly the same thing. And I think that's about right. So now we're going to click the complete calibration button, and it clearly was correct, because if it hadn't been, it would have done some calculations and told you if the calibration wasn't successful. But that was a successful calibration, and now we are ready to start an assessment. Thank you for listening.